scary. When you think about everything that it's capable of in engages, how, you know, the fight could start off with a flank from Camille, or Arthur comes in on the Pantheon, and they have, you know, big burst damage follow up. I mean, Gragas knocks somebody away. There's so much isolation. Senna is going to do a ton of damage as well. She starts to scale up. You can have big equalizers. I feel like for the side of Fredit Brion, I mean, I like the Ornn pick heading for late game. I like it for some of the engages that they're going to have to try to look for, but it feels like the composition that we're seeing here for Hanwha Life Esports is just so easy to execute. There's just so many different ways you can approach a team fight. They have so many options looking for every single objective.
The interesting thing is I feel like the Senna buffs actually helped support Senna a bit more, so we'll see whether this is about Vista getting empowered in this lane as well. Certainly a chance that Deft could just be farming things out, because of course we have seen a lot more of the carry Senna in competitive play, but not on this patch, right? Especially not here in the LCK, so very much looking forward to how it goes as we hop onto the Rift for game number 1.
And he has been empowered pretty well in the late game when Bro survived long enough to get there. Fredit Brion, that is. This is a very aggressive rotation from Arthur.
Yeah, and actually Umti's going to have to get out of here as Vista in great position to support him. This ward will be timing out, and I think that was seen. So Undertow comes down. Vista now will need to get into position. Good shield comes up from Arthur, though, as Umti's going to miss that last one. Will be a smite fight, won by Arthur there, and he gets all of that health back at the same time. Is now Lava in a bit of trouble, but does get a decent stun onto Chovy. So powerful in a game like this with Hanwha Life's composition, because they want to get early advantages, and they absolutely have them right now, as Chovy has to heal, actually, to get out of the way of the potential stun. Umti comes in and gets himself a bit of a thumbs up as Chovy continues to go back.
You're kind of just always on the back foot here, because if you ever make one move forward, you could just get ulted by Arthur. Meanwhile...
Yep, it's good stun onto Chovy there in the mid lane. He's going to flash very early, actually, not wanting to waste any time. Do have the man drop coming forward, as now Lava not going to be the target. They want to get the Ragnarok out, and they do so. Equalizer comes down, but the positioning not great there out of Chovy. As Morgan's going to come in and see what he can do. Hookshot is going to be lined up. Flash out from Umti. The Rift Herald as far as getting that early power. You can see already about 300 gold in the lead. And Hanwha Life actually continuing to go aggressive. Lava in trouble, has to flash. As Vista looking for it. Oh, not quite able to get there, as the Harpoon also misses. And there's the equalizer to get one tick. And that will pick up the kill.
Very, very versatile in that regard.
Well, yeah, could be in trouble. Doesn't have flash, remember, as he's trying to get out of the way of this Olaf. Looking now to turn it around, but I don't know whether he's going to be able to. As in goes the man drop. It is going to now be a lot of damage onto Umti, but Arthur has to flash to get himself out of the way. It's a big knock-up to come through, as already Fredit Brion having a good time, but it is going to be the Ornn taken down, and that's a 1-for-1 trade in the end. And now Arthur looking for where Lava is, as Delight trying to stay in position. All right, Lava in trouble, going to get stunned up. There's the Dawning Shadow and a very dead Syndra. As it feels like Chovy feasting on Syndras seems to be his thing at this point in time.
At the same time as Fredit Brion having trouble deciding, actually, if they're going to contest this or not. You can see Delight is like desperately trying to clear this ward, but he's so scared that he's going to get rooted. He actually leaves it up and walks away. Really late, yes, step scale as well as Silverline is fading away here.
Yeah, Lava's health bar is doing the same thing, as Chovy does still have his ultimate. He just decided that he didn't want to trade it for a flash at that instance. As now Vista's moving
like,
in.
Yo.
Oh, gets the flash himself. And now Lava, when he comes back to lane, he's just dead. Yep. Because Chovy knows that he can just put down, okay, Deft out of position. This should be the kill, as he's trying to do as much damage as he can. Dawning Shadow, not going to do anything. And
you know, it's not even, but can they keep it where it is right now? Can they stabilize here to get there is the question, because Hanwha Life Esports definitely are not going to let them go down easy this way.
Well, there's the equalizer from Chovy. Umti gonna have to flash to get himself out of the way, as Arthur in a great position with that man drop. That's going to secure the kill onto the Syndra already, and he's in thick amongst the fight. Chovy now chasing after them. Can he land the harpoons is going to be the question. Close to overheating, but not going to be able to get underneath that turret. Is now Deft chasing after Henna. One more auto will do it. All cancelled, unfortunately, but gets it in the end. No harm, no foul, as that's just a clear win for Hanwha Life. As Chovy comes in the nick of time, takes down that siege minion quite nicely. And let's have a look at this fight one more time.
Yeah, you can see the equalizer comes out first. Insane damage for Chovy. Arthur ults in from the other side, cutting off retreat. And this is, I don't even want to say this is an overextension for Fredit Brion. It's just a really aggressive play for Hanwha Life Esports that's allowed and empowered by the Pantheon pick. You know, oftentimes an LCK Pantheon has been as Henna dying again. Auto gets canceled. He turns around for some reason, and probably going to regret that one. But yeah, the Pantheon pick
pretty decent, as they are going to get the charge out from Shirley. And they might even be able to take down this turret as the Drake does go down. That's a great Ornhorn, but no, interrupted. Oh, fantastic work from Vista as in goes Morgan now. Dawning Shadow comes down as well as Henna. Going to be in trouble, but does deal with the Camille pretty quickly. But these heals coming out from Senna are ludicrous. Delight going to go down as well as now Chovy looking to lock down Lava. The ulti now on cooldown for the Syndra and has to run away. Halma-Life Esports once again asserting their dominance.
Means that you know this comp has been practiced a lot by the squad.
Well, you've now got Umti trying to take down Vista. He's going to flash his depth, trying to get that damage done. Ulti's available, and Umti takes a lot of damage, but that potion ticking, I think, had a lot of reason as to why he survived. The man drop, though, is going to say no as Lava. Also going to be dead, and Arthur grabs himself, too.
Fred at Breon are, I think, thinking about game 2 right now as things have just really not gone their way. Rotation over here is to take red, but not even to think about the Baron.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to help out. And Umti, he's
Look at how fast Chovy can clear massive waves like this. He is spotted.
Yeah, Moonlight Vigil comes down as well. He's going to take a lot of damage. He has Zhonya's available. Not going to utilize it just yet. Goes into it now as once again, the equalizer is there. He's going to flash to try and get himself out of the way as the Ornhorn is going to slow him just enough, but it's not going to be thrown back. As you can see, Hoya taking too much damage. Arthur gets towards the top side, doesn't do damage with his ultimate, but now they're corralling this bro roster as Delight is way too far away from this one. You've got the Dawning Shadow that comes in, shielding up everyone, but it is going to expire as now Arthur gets himself in. Henna eliminated. Lava suffers the same fate. Oh my goodness, Umpty getting taken down for a double kill now for this Camille, as Hoya wishes he could just bail over the side of this alcove, but I don't think Halma-Life actually know. Deft is going to spot him, and goodbye to the Ornn. Halma-Life, yeah, feels like this game may well be over.
Yeah, feels like it. Doesn't feel like any Kingslaying happening here for Fred at Breon in our first game, unfortunately.
That was a bit unfortunate for Stop, so decides not to go for this control ward, as now in goes Morgan. Umpty, he's trapped. And the man drop comes down all too easily. They lock down the jungler, but it might be jungle for jungle, which could be a good trade, but in he goes again as Equalizer comes down as well. Henna can't actually sit there and fight as Hoya not going to burn down to death just this time. As the Baron goes down, they are going to at least try and contest for this one, as Umpty is getting closer. Let's see whether Halma-Life are going to allow this one. Equalizer is still available. That's what we're going to be looking at as the Aphelios does deny the Mountain Soul, and now Vista has to go golden. Equalizer comes down, but it's not quite enough to stop the Gragas from going. Still burned to death is the Ornn, and in goes Morgan now. My god, the damage is just disgusting. Avoids the headbutt there with the Hextech Ultimatum as well, and stays alive. A double kill for Deft in the end. That's going to be the ace, and that will be the game. And I correct myself, it's a triple for Deft as the dust settles.
And let hell come to you, or are you going to take a fight? I mean, they tried to win that fight, you know, with a 4v2 start, trying to get that Drake advantage, but it's just not enough. And that's going to be the first map going to Halma-Life Esports.
Expertly snowballed by Halma-Life, making sure that they were playing to their win conditions the entire game. The Nexus falls down.
Can't be too harsh on them, at least not in this first game. But let's see if we can see some adjustments in that second game draft.
That's exactly right. Having a look at the post-game damage graph, yeah, it was all about Halma-Life Esports this game. Chovy, you didn't exactly have that god-tier scoreline or anything like that, but everyone had to make their way up that red carpet in order to get into these team fights, and you see, like, just ridiculous damage, almost doubling the output.
Snowball out of their control, out of their hands, but everything else that they're trying to do here is so insanely difficult to execute versus a team of players who have played this aggressive style, have played around Chovy's Yone, the tempo advantage he's going to get. They've got Talia, for Pete's sake,
yeah,
for controlling the early game. Like, I am really worried about this just snowballing out of control before we even hit 15 minutes.
We also have to talk about the genius that is the Vayne pickup as well. Halma-Life Esports, obviously we're looking at an Aphelios for that last pick, does add a lot of range to this low range composition, but then you spot the fact that there is zero range, basically. On side of Fred at Breon, they're like, well, we may as well just play Vayne here because it's a perfect opportunity to utilize a lower range 80 carry underneath this turret. So really good, trying to put down the Vayne as best they can. That hook was amazing though as the playback onto Henna. He will take a lot of damage here as at least they do have the Attract Repel to give that little bit of extra.
Operate around this Drake, though. Delight is going to scout this out, but I think he's just unfortunately too late to do anything.
Yeah, they don't have the Lily in the area. See what else they can transition into as Lava will get the face breaker off onto Chovy as Vista. That's a really long hook. As the Weaver's Wall comes down, Arthur wanting to get over the wall, but doesn't find the flick. And now Harmalife Esports in position to back away as Hoya throws down the barrel. Perfect delivery onto the Thresh, and that'll be first blood to Henna, of all people. A great start for Fred at Brion. Chovy is going to be able to avoid the Haymaker there as Henna diving in onto Deft. Condemn underneath the turret as Deft has to flash. And does so successfully. Henna does have a body slam, and he's going to get out. Just a lot of regen on both sides here as Vista is going to spot these two. And it looks like they're going to try and escape. Umpty in position. He gets immediately exhausted. He will be able to grab himself the Drake, but at the cost of his life, and a kill over to Chovy, which is so dangerous. Tidy that one up for himself. He's down by about 10 CS, but it's probably fine, actually, for a Vayne in this matchup, as Chovy knows that he needs to ult out of there. Arthur not going to be so lucky, and he'll be taken down. Very squishy. Is going to be able to move back now to relative safety. Is now Chovy looking for Lava. He's taking so much damage. Haymaker not even going to be utilized, as I believe it was on cooldown. Yeah, true. It's like not utter domination, but it's not like the problem solves. In goes Harmalife Esports. Chovy finds the ulti into the backline. It's a double flick kill. As just before he goes back to his soul, Chovy grabs yet another kill. Morgan's going to be able to take a Lantern Ride to safety, and that should be an Infernal Drake.
Time for Deft, or rather for Chovy to have a perfect engage here. And this is the tempo advantage that Yone is always looking for, is around the mid-game, having a small lead, crazy attack speed, go in and ult for big kills. And, you know, we talked about it, Valdez and I did in that Gen G series about, okay, yeah, the Yone pick, how much value can they get? Are they going to get a tempo advantage? In that game, they got a massive advantage. This is a more realistic advantage, but it's still enough for hope for a pick, because Chovy's at it again.
Oh dear, speaking of getting kidnapped, yeah, it's just not really working out here as Lava. He does have the Haymaker this time, but he almost dies because they know that there's just no way for Fred at Brion to approach, and if they do, then they just break off and grab themselves the fight. As Barrel is going to slow down Vista, the Baron does just fall down as Vista's going to throw back the hook. Chovy now looks for the ult. He doesn't actually find anyone and immediately goes back to the Unbound Soul. He'll fall asleep. He gets further away. Henna now trying to fight in the exhaust is immediate, but Chovy should be going down. They lock down the Yone, and now it's the Gragas that's out of position. You can see Deft trying to get into the right spot to start off this fight. He grabs a double kill to begin this one, but he's down to 200 health now, and Morgan picks up the charge. He's gigantic on this Aatrox, and yeah, you may have taken down Chovy, but the rest of the team is also fed. Well, one thing that we
looking for a turret.
Yeah, one thing we do need to say is that Chovy now doesn't have the Baron buff, so his split push isn't quite as powerful as the ulti comes in immediately. They lock down the Kaiser, and you may have been saying Choky in chat, but you are going to eat those words now as he gets the perfect pick. And now Harmalife will be able to wreck these turrets.
The Thresh here as well, it's just so terrifying.
I think it's actually a different length when it's Chovy that's playing, as he was thinking about grabbing an Infernal Soul, but now Harmalife want to stop this Baron from being taken down. This is an aggressive play as, yeah, Morgan getting that flank as we set up the wall. Arthur wants to flash in, is going to steal away the Baron, and now the fight should be going in favor of Harmalife. Arthur goes into his Zonyas. Can he keep himself alive? As Chovy fighting off on the backside. Deft is free hitting. This is going to be an ace, and this is going to be the game for Harmalife Esports, and they make it look easy.
It was too good. The, ult in, steal away the Weaver's Wall there from Arthur was perfect. And they just ended up getting a great team fight with the flank there from Morgan. I thought it was a good idea from Fred at Brion, probably their best that they had, the best decision they made all series, but it was, again, too little, too late. That's the end of it.
Yep, that's going to be game.
They just get shut down. Really nice ult from Arthur to come and clean it up, but let's take a look at the damage. Yeah. And the lack thereof, unfortunately, for Set, And they weren't able to convert his showstoppers into isolated picks onto Deft, onto Chovy, like the way they wanted to, especially onto Deft, right? I think that's what the function of this draft really is when you look at the mid-set, but it just doesn't work out at the end of the day. And it's a really tragic loss here for Fred at Brion because they didn't get anything done in either of these maps.
Yep, absolutely no options given over to them, and Chovy once again showing that he can pick up a game and win it by himself. It's what happens when Yone gets too far ahead, but watching Chovy play it is just so beautiful. So, oh man, I mean, when are we going to see the best of Chovy? I just don't know, and I don't know whether it's ever going to happen.